Hey everyone, I'm back. I'm still playing through my Steam library, starting with the worst games first. There doesn't seem to be an end in sight, but I'm gonna keep going at it for as long as I can. This week I did get to play a fun game. Unfortunately, since it has an extremely high Wilson score of like 98%, it's not in this video. It was on my wish list. It's Crypto the Necrodancer. It is a roguelike rhythm dungeon crawler, and that sounds bizarre, but it's super fun. So I'll put a link to that in the description just as a really cool game that I think you should check out, along with links to all the other games. As always, they're always down there. Um, but let's just get to those crappy games. G-Shift. This is a platformer game, and the G stands for gravity. You are a small boy with a large head and no nose, and your father has blown up the crust of the earth and caused it to go into the atmosphere somehow, and you have the ability to rotate these panels and shift gravity, I guess? I'm not sure why a small boy would have such power, but he does. It's a very slow-paced game. You have to get up right to the edge of the little square, and then you can hit the arrow key and rotate it. Sometimes you can fall down onto stuff, and then you have to rotate, and then just do some more jumping. But if you look at the map, you're going to be penalized for those points that don't really matter unless you really have a goal of getting high scores or something. You have to collect all 3 little blue doodads in order to use this little portal and get out of here. Sometimes you can't really tell where the blue things are. Like here, you might not know that there's actually a little blue thing underneath this platform unless you were to have precognitive powers. My small child was very fragile and I was unaware of this for a while. I really thought he'd be able to make this kind of a jump here, but no, it killed him. And if you kill him, you get to see this sadness. But if you win, you get to watch him wipe the snot off his non-existent nose. After you beat the first few levels and go to the next zone, this rocky world, you get to use these moving platforms which are activated by putting your body between these 2 poles, which wasn't really that much more fast-paced. Sometimes I thought I was close enough to the edge of the platform to rotate the map and started my jump early and would just slide off. Other times I swear I made the jump properly but just slide off and fall on my butt. Sector is a first-person shooter which starts you off with no weapons and no tutorial of sorts. I don't know how to do any of the controls. The ceiling is really low. I feel like I tried to hit all the points of interest where anything would kind of be hidden. Nothing on this skeleton here. But when I made it to the door of this first level, I had not found the key that I needed. I looked up the controls, and one thing you can do is adjust the gamma, which made everything super bright and allowed me to find the key and go through the door. Finally got my first weapon and tried to take out my frustrations on this neutral target who wasn't gonna shoot me. Little did I know, there was a guy shooting me on the right. So I used my hairdryer to kill him. Once again I get to the end of the floor and there is a locked door, which I failed to figure out. So I tried to do the obvious points of interest, but in trying to get that little computer to work, which it didn't, I went through the ceiling. Is this the tip of that guy's nose? I tried to question the design work of this floor layout, and in doing so found that there was this little thing here I was supposed to find to open the door. Next puzzle was this, but it was kind of obvious because there was nothing else in the room. This is the biggest vent in first-person shooter history. So you go to this next phase thingy level dealy and shoot some more pinhead guys with your hair dryer. They aren't really that smart, it seems. And your hairdryer is not very effective at killing them. You really have to fill them up with that warm air to kill them. The next gun they give you, though, ain't much better. It's got a lot of recoil, so really just kind of pray and spray, and it's not good times. I died and I tried to reload and got stuck on the loading screen, so that was enough. Naughty Nights is a jump scare, similar to Five Nights at Freddy's, which I've never played because I just feel like if I'm anticipating getting scared, it's just not gonna work, so I don't like the idea of jump scare. It says press the button to close the gate and to click on the cube to keep it away, but when I did that, it just ran out all my power and oh my gosh, Naughty Night happened. Well, there's this camera thing, so I guess I'll use that, but I also went with the tactic of having the gate closed and the cube on, which just ran my power down and didn't really help. So this attempt at playing the game didn't work either, and I found that there was a how to play menu, and here it is. Let me read it off for you. Naughty Night need to make 3 steps in each room to get you. Use the button to keep Naughty Night in the door. Use the cube to stop him coming from bedroom. Use the mirror to avoid Naughty Night reaching you from hall. In the end of each phase, keep you mind greater than 10 for first, 15 for second, and 25 for the rest levels to win. To restore mind, keep your gate closed and stay in the main room. It grows slowly, but the energy recovery is high. When you see the exclamations above your head like this is one of the only times you have to worry about activating your cube, trap, and mirror stuff. You can use the camera to see where the Naughty Night is coming from and then use the appropriate thing, or you could just use all 3 and not have to worry. Another indication that the Naughty Night might be out to get you is that you'll hear a noise. This made it being able to scare me kinda hard because either my exclamation points were going off or I had some gurgling noises happening, so I knew he was coming. Well, look, he's in the hall. Well, it's gonna take him 3 steps to get here. This is probably his second step. He's still there. Oh my gosh, I'm startled. Okay, I apparently beat the game, and this is what got said as the last thing, and then I got to look at the select level, which unlocked after beating that. We got some great menus here, and whatever. Them, Chapter 1, The Summoning. I'm gonna go with British English just for a little bit of extra color with a U in there. I never figured out who them were, but that's probably because this was the first chapter. Like all hidden object games, this is just gonna be a bunch of clutter that in this first area you actually state that you need to clean up. So you get to cleaning up your crap. They do have a little bonus thing that twinkle with little starriness, so they're kind of easy to find, and that will be a hidden extra thing that we get to see at the end of the game. It is so worth it, trust me. So you go and you clean up all this stuff. Your place sure is a mess. Where is that letter opener? Time to use a cheat. I mean a hint, not a cheat. A cheat hint. Because I can't find it. There it is. Alright. Now I have to find my ringing phone, and I don't know where it is. Keep looking under the pillows and rifling through the couch. Oh, I thought that was a remote. They also have other puzzles, such as find the difference in 2 paintings, and move a potato sack so it looks like it's in the same position as this painting because someone wanted to commemorate their hoard. Try to figure out which sign is Sagittarius. I have no clue, because I only know my own symbol, which is the Roman numeral 2 for Gemini. Well, there it is. Yay. So let's see those extras. These look like all the levels I beat. So maybe they let me play a different mode? Nope, turns out it was the same one as before. Hooray! Advent. This is our second game that has been made with RPG Maker, and they also have not gone through the trouble of changing any of the RPG Maker art, I feel. It's probably just all stock images. But that's okay, because they actually do put in a lot of effort of developing the story, it seems. I think that this has a really low Wilson score just because there just aren't a lot of reviews on it, and not having a lot of reviews is something that makes your Wilson score really low. So maybe just not a lot of people know about this. I only played it for an hour, so I don't really have a huge knowledge of how good or bad it is, but the story is kind of decent, and as far as RPGs go, having a good story is part of it. One thing I didn't like though was this first person mode of fighting. I like watching my dudes punch them, and another thing I didn't like was after you fight them, this. Ow, my ears! And so you pass out and two girls pick you up, and the one girl says you got to go. You can't hang out here. So you're kicked out and you gotta go do stuff on your own. Then we cut to this other thing where there's two dudes and the two girls go off on their own, and oh my god, stuff's happening. And the two dudes go off on their own and find the drunk guy. And they go and they fight some fairies. Oh, my ears! And then you go and you find the girls. And wow! Let's get this over with. So you fight this guy, and it takes forever. So I spent an hour and finally got my party together, it seems. It doesn't seem like much happened, but that was all building up the story in the hour. So they did a good job. They made a story. So that is one of the flaws with the Wilson scoring system, is that it takes the number of reviews into account, and for Advent it doesn't have many reviews, but one of those reviews is negative, which really tanks the score because it doesn't have many reviews. The theory is if it were a good game, word of mouth would kind of spread, people would play it, people would review it, and that would boost its score. More reviews means it would be a better game. So that's kind of how the score works, but it does leave room for there to be like hidden gems with really bad scores and just one turd bad negative review in its review section. So there is hope. There's hope that one of these games could be something that's not just another crappy platformer with some terrible gimmick trying to make it stand out from the rest, or RPG Maker game where they didn't bother to change any of the template artwork. But we really haven't found many of those as of yet. It can happen though. It might happen soon, but we'll see. You'll have to tune in next time, and maybe it will be then. I am not gonna hold my breath though. Thanks for hanging out and watching these videos, and I'll see you next time.